Alonso breaks this one open with a grand slam. Look, guys, we talked about this all winter, but Chris, with Soto hitting ahead of him, how would you describe the potential for a monster season for Alonso?
I think there's decent potential there. Certainly Soto's presence helps. I think Pete's track record, which we might forget because of last season, is a factor as well. I mean, look, do I need a rookie year Pete performance where he's going for over 50 and 120? Not necessarily. I think it's possible. Look, the lineup, beyond Soto, Lindor's presence, Viento's emergence, there's a lot to like, as we talked about Sunday night, in that top 5, top 6 or so. So if Pete's feeling like there's less pressure or less reliance on him to have the big year, to go deep all the time, I think that there is potential for that. Maybe the weight of the free agency last year off his shoulders a little bit, even though he could find himself back there again this winter. So you want him to be free and easy. Great to see him blow it open there for the team, for a struggling offense. Big hits in big spots. Let him build some momentum and just let him go.
Guys, I love this spot for Pete Alonso in the lineup. I mean, my goodness, you got Juan Soto, who's going to see a gazillion pitches night in and night out. He's going to get on base 40% of the time. And if you have Lindor and Juan Soto doing their thing from an on-base perspective, it means Alonso is going to have these ribby opportunities with ducks on the pond again and again and again. And this is someone throughout his entire career has been an absolute run producer. Now, I know 2024 was not his best season by any means, but he is set up beautifully to go and have a great prove-it type of year. I fully expect 40-plus home runs. I think he's going to be well north of 100 RBIs, and I think he's going to be set up quite nicely at the end of this year, Eamon, to go make a whole lot of money.
Yeah, you say 40-plus, you say 50 home runs. Scott Boras here's cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching all over again. All right, David Peterson, 9 strikeouts in 6 innings, just 2 earned runs allowed. JJ, we've talked about him a lot, too. Is Peterson moving into your circle of trust for the Mets starters?
Yes. Yes, and yes, absolutely, Eamon. I mean, think about the amount of big starts that David Peterson made for this team down the stretch of the year when they were just fighting and scratching and clawing, needing to get themselves in the postseason, and you kept waiting for the other shoe to drop with Peterson. It didn't happen. Then you put him in even more pressure-packed opportunities and situations in the postseason where you had him pitching out of the bullpen, and he did a wonderful job in the Philly series. He did a great job against the Milwaukee Brewers. So, yeah, Peterson, a former first-round pick, a guy who I think is way more comfortable and way more confident doing his thing on the big league level. He's right up there. When I look at his Met pitching staff and guys that I can count on, assuming he takes the ball every 5th day, Silo, I think he's going to build upon what he did last year.
Especially some of the question marks in the pitching staff entering this season, which we've outlined quite a bit throughout the course of the winter as well. It was the case last year. A little bit different names this year, but absolutely, if you look at the depth chart from their rotation standpoint, he's got to be in that circle of trust, not just from an ability standpoint, but from a performance standpoint. It's held up for a while now. All the points JJ made about the starts down the stretch, the performance out of the bullpen, so the ability for him to be flexible and pretty much do whatever's been asked of him. So the frame's obviously there, the stuff is there, swing and miss stuff, which was on display again in this particular performance. So all good signs for him, and I think feeling like he's really established himself in this rotation and as a relied upon starter should help for his confidence over the course of the season.
And speaking of that pitching depth chart, all eyes on Kodai Senga Tuesday as the Mets go up against the Marlins again.